And we are live once again. Hello and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome. Welcome to another live stream of Surviving Romance. That's right, folks. Surviving Romance. For those who are fairly new to the Prince Magnum channel, let me explain how hot rodding and romance do come together. The hot rods to get their attention, the romance to keep them. All right? You know, these ladies, they climb on board because, we got the cool car, so obviously we got to be cool and got to treat them good and everything. And then they fall in love with us and then we don't do what it takes to keep them. That's wrong. So, here on Surviving Romance, we dive into all sorts of subjects. Remember, guys, if you like cars, you like cooking. And I know that sounds crazy as can be, but trust me on this one, okay? Just trust me. Uh, we'll do a special on that. We'll go into greater detail. But for right now, let's talk about lemonade. Lemonade is one of these things. It's so easy to do. It's one of these things. For you young ones out there, if you think your idea of lemonade comes out of something like this, think again. The best lemonade begins right here in the kitchen, homemade, okay? And it's something that anybody can do. I mean, anyone could do this. I mean, really. And I've been dying to do this one for a long, long, long time. I've been waiting to do this episode, okay? I've been waiting and been looking for an excuse. We now have that excuse, okay? Kitchen's a little bit of a mess. I do apologize. I've been in here cleaning for a little while, getting ready for this live stream. That and Princess Faye, she's been tired and I've got a couple days off, so now would be a good time to get kitchen cleaned up. Now, for those who weren't there for the Thanksgiving episodes, I did do an unveiling. The shades came off. The only time the shades go back on is out of respect for Alcoholics Anonymous, but we'll talk more and more about that. But because I'll be working with lemons and knives and no, I need my regular spectacles. So let's get on with this. First things first, we need something on my hair, okay? There we go. Something to help the key. There we go. The cool cook now, right? All right, let's continue. Also, real quick, any ladies that come on this live stream gets a nice little surprise, something special towards the end of the video. Not an actual giveaway, but I guess you could say a big say-so. Don't worry, it's a say-so on a surprise for Princess Faye. No need to worry about whether or not she knows about the surprise because, I can kind of mention what's going to happen in this live stream. Princess Faye doesn't really watch my videos. Surviving Romance for her. Anyhow. So I don't need to worry about all that. So let's get on with it. If you're going to make lemonade, you need lemons. You need lots of lemons, okay? We got about 10 of these bad boys right here. There's a 5. There's another 5, okay? Now, we're going to need a good knife. We're going to need a real good knife. That's this bad boy right here. An 8 to 10 inch chef's knife. Make sure it's good and sharp because a dull knife is more likely to hurt you than a sharp knife, okay? So please be careful when you're dealing with knives, okay? Also, a cutting board of some sort. I know I know that a lot of people like the glass ones, and they do come really decorative and they're real pretty, but boy, they'll dull up a blade. And I don't know about the rest of you, I hate sharpening knives, okay? So do me a favor, plastic or wood, okay? For more like your hearty vegetables like carrots and things like that, I don't mind wood in that case. For meats and fruits, I typically like the plastic, okay? It's that simple. All right, now on standby is just an empty jug, okay? Now note in this, still had a little extra water from washing it earlier, that I'm not breaking out a juicer. We don't need a juicer for this, okay? Do yourself a favor, go get yourself a potato masher, okay? Now, I know that sounds a little strange. A juicer in this case, actually, let me simplify this, okay? If you the juices in here are amazing. They're strong, they're flavorful. Um, you can do all sorts of things with lemon juice, okay? Besides just make lemonade. You've seen me use it for pan-fried fish and, just all sorts of stuff like that here on the Prince Magnum channel, and that's awesome. But there's something that we don't always talk about here on the channel, and that's the outer hull, the zest, okay? Uh, there's a lot of flavorful oils in these, and we're going to need these oils. Now, we could, grind off, do the whole thing and taking the lemon zest off, but then you got that in the. Let's just go ahead and skip it. There's already going to be pulp and other stuff that are going to add to the flavors. Uh, we're going to leave the hulls intact. Besides, whenever you start taking the zest off, you always run into that possibility that you can get down to that nasty pith, and that's not what we're after. So, what we're going to do is we're going to use a potato masher, but we're going to have to hack these open, and it's going to be a total of 10 lemons. Also on standby, you want a couple of cups of filtered water. What do I mean by filtered water? Well, this talking water should really deserve its own episode. In all reality, let me explain. You could go out and buy bottled water, but then you're adding more to the landfill, okay? And I know there's certain, it's like you can't trust tap water sometimes, or maybe it tastes like the city pool or something to that effect. So you still want to be eco-friendly, but you still want your food to taste good, because I mean, water's important to almost every aspect of cooking. What's the best solution? Buy yourself one of these. It's about a $9 investment. That's cheaper on the land, it's easier on the landfill, cheaper in the long run, okay? Because it still uses the municipal water supply, and it's not going to taste like the city pool. So, dollar for dollar, the replacement filters are only going to cost you anywhere from $9 to $15. You replace them once every 3 to 4 months, depending on how much you use it. This is economical. It's easier on the landfill. And shoot, I'm pretty sure if someone thought about it long enough, they could recycle the dang filters. Okay? That just makes sense to me. Okay? The bottled waters, bottled water, I don't care where the jugs come from, 9 times out of 10, they're made in China, and there's already been some leading studies by some alternate media sources that say that the Chinese have been putting some stuff, impregnating the plastic with some really, really nasty stuff. So do me a favor, avoid bottled water, especially for something like this. Go ahead and go with the filtered water using your own water supply directly. It's just cheaper and it's healthier. Trust me on this one. All right, now that we've covered that, so now we've got the main ingredients, okay? So I'm going to explain something to you all real quick, kind of a safety tip that I've kind of picked up along the way. When you go to cut, do yourself a favor. Kind of press down with your knuckles the best you can, or kind of keep your fingers out of the way. Something that I've kind of learned to do is kind of hold down on the food, right, like that. Or I'll kind of gently dig in my nails and slice, okay? As few motions as possible, okay? For some reason, sharp knives, few motions, disrupts the food. Food doesn't like violence, okay? So, again, just as before, keeping those fingers gently out of the way, because we don't want our fingers to become part of the food. Yeah, that would suck. All right, again, just like before, okay? Now this is an awesome recipe. Anybody could do this. Kids, if you go to do this, do me a favor, because you're going to be dealing with sharp knives. Get your parents' help, okay? So, any kids that decide to do this recipe, get your parents' help, okay? And it is something that the kids can do too, okay? Just have to have the parents' help. There we go. All right, there's 5 lemons down. Again, notice I'm just throwing them directly in. Don't worry about nothing, okay? Also, you might want to go ahead and get sugar and a nice pot and about a cup of water on standby, and we'll get to that soon enough. Okay? So just again, cutting up lemons. Keep those fingers out of the way. Safety first, folks. Boom. Boy, that was a juicy one there. I like that one. And give up a lot of lemon juice. Oh my goodness. Smell of lemon, strong, strong, strong. I love that. It smells good. I've heard that, and maybe somebody can verify this, to help clean a microwave, take a slice of lemon, put it in your microwave, nuke it for a few minutes, and makes it so much easier to clean. Might have to try that sometime. We'll have to try that one. Again, on Surviving Romance, we do cooking. We do a little bit of everything. Here on Surviving Romance, Last Lemon, we do a little bit of everything. Here on Surviving Romance, we love, but again, it's always about, doing things that your other half will appreciate, giving them bragging rights. And I don't know about the rest of you. I love to do that sort of stuff. All right. Now, take your potato masher. Not just for potatoes. I love doing stuff like this, showing you all some neat little tricks, okay? Now, one of the things that I tried to make sure is that despite the amount of lemons, I wanted to make sure there was enough room for me to fit my potato masher down in there and kind of work it around. I was trying to explain this to Princess Faye earlier, completely lost the poor woman. She's like, I think you've lost your mind, But the objective is to squeeze them just like this. Again, the essential oils coming out in this, okay? Let go of it, you son of a gun. Lemon juice being a very, very powerful solvent. All right, just working that in there. Oh yeah, I made quite a bit. Now, real quick, while I'm gonna take a quick break, because again, husbands, this is not easy to do, okay? But it's worth it. Please do me a favor, if you're gonna be doing something this, pushing down this hard, the plastic one ain't gonna cut it. Get yourself a good one. Get one made of metal, okay? On top of that, if you don't want to spend the price, I think I paid like, $6 for this one. A lot of times you can go to a thrift store and get them for like $1, okay? So do yourself a favor. Go get the real deal, okay? Don't buy the cheap stuff, okay? You'll hear me repeatedly say on some stuff, don't skimp on. All right. Now, we got a good squeeze going. Set that aside. And as you can tell, we got quite a bit of juice out of this, okay? But we're going to need a little bit more because right now, this is just lemon juice, okay? So we're going to add about 2 cups of filtered water. And that'll bring it right up. It's right about there. Now don't worry, this is still going to be plenty strong, plenty strong. All right, we'll lid this up, kind of shake it around a little bit, kind of loosen everything up. Wow, still very strong, very strong. Okay, we're going to press it down a little bit more. Wow, this is going to be good. Now, as you heard me say before, here in the past, I'll say a couple of months, we've been really focused on adding sweetness to our foods, and we've been having a lot of fun with syrups lately, okay? Which, by golly, we should, okay? My goodness, look at that. So here in just a moment, we're gonna fire up the stove and we're gonna make a syrup, a simple syrup, okay? There we go. Again, this because we're doing it this way, it's going to be plenty strong. So 2 cups of water will get you pretty close to where you need to be. Okay. Again, don't be shy. Squeeze. All right, there we go. See, there you have it. Basically a diluted lemon juice at this point, but we need some sweetness, some brightness. Kick it up a notch, you know? Sorry, get excited about cooking. All right, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and crank this up to high heat, okay? Our nice pot that we just got through cleaning before the live stream. All right, and I'm gonna add, believe it or not, 1 cup of water. That's all I need for this, okay? Now, if you know anything about your sugars, you know that it takes 1 cup to 2 cups of sugar to make a simple syrup, okay? Now, the cool thing about this is, when you make a simple syrup like this, what happens is that the sugars break down, become twice as sweet, so it doesn't take quite as much, a little bit more economical. But in this case, we're dealing with a very, very strong brightness of lemon. You know, that strong acidity, I should say. I apologize. We're talking, you know, fresh product here. Okay, so it's going to be a lot more strong than, you know, stuff you get out of a package. Also, some of you might say, well, Prince Magnum, just add a little bit more water, dump the sugar in there. And you could do that. You could do that. But have you ever tried to sweeten iced tea? Sugar just sinks to the bottom. You're sitting there, stir, stir, stir. You never get it all dissolved. What's the solution? Melt it before it goes in. So this little trick will also work for iced tea, which we might just do here on the channel sometime. Okay? If you want to, ladies, if you want to sit and talk to your husbands, and you want your husbands to talk him into watching it, okay? Believe it or not, it seems like the one thing, this was supposed to be designed for the guys, to showcase women watching more than the guys. That's just, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, right now we're just kind of, we're just trying to get the sugar to melt, so we've got it up on high, all right? And definitely get a good spoon for this. We're gonna give this a good stir, okay? And this is gonna be one of the last times that this spoon is gonna touch this syrup, or this syrup to be, okay? There's a reason for that. Simply put, sugar crystals. Some of the solution can get up on the side, heat will crystallize it and things like that. And if you're like me, kind of worried about that, you could add a couple of, you could add a teaspoon of corn syrup, light corn syrup, like your Karo light corn syrup, which is great for candy making. And you'll be all right. But I think we're just going to go ahead and shoot for this. We're going to roll and just melt this down. We're going to kind of stack up our bubbles a little bit, kind of reduce it a little bit, heighten that sweetness, and then we're going to add that directly to the lemonade, give it a good stir, and we're going to call it that, okay? We'll get to that just soon enough, all right? So no worries, no worries. Okay, again, we sliced regular, a total of 10 lemons, which after, giving them a squeeze with our potato masher, we've got almost 2 quarts in here. Now, when we go to add, and that's including with the hulls, the hulls here, okay? Leave those in there. Don't remove them, okay? Trust me on this one. And then we've got our regular simple sugar breaking down right now. And as soon as it gets to a certain point, we're going to add that directly to here and stir that around real good, and then it's lemonade. What's so hard about making a homemade lemonade? Now, I know there's some guys that are also asking the question, Prince Magnum, why would I go this far for my wife? Well, okay. Say the wife's got some friends coming over, okay? And you go ahead and make up something like this. The lady's going to be like, oh my gosh, you know, you got the best husband in the world, blah, 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 blah. Remember, guys, you never, ever, 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 ever want to be that husband that the wife turns around and says, I can't stand my husband. There's no worse feeling than knowing that you're that husband, okay? And I've seen a lot of guys experience it, and if they had just taken the time and done the sweet stuff, okay? Or did you always want to be that husband that the in-laws thought was a dirtbag and all that other stuff? You know, you'll never be right for my baby girl. Happened to a lot of guys, I'm sure. Okay? But, say the in-laws are coming over. They're not super fond of you. Well, time to whip out a simple recipe like this. Maybe drag your father-in-law out onto, you know, outside and just have a chit-chat and maybe get to know each other. Sometimes it's simple things that breaks the ice, okay? Now, this melted down really quickly. I just turned it off. Now, remember, the burner is still hot. We're going to let this coast down. Because funny thing about this little setup, if we kept the temperature rising, eventually it would start turning kind of a light amber color. And then pretty soon it would start turning to a dark, okay? Add some cream, butter, and a little bit of sea salt. You got caramel, but that's not what we're going for in this case. Pretty cool, though. You know, for those of you who like caramel. You know. Ta-da! All right. Again, I've been dying to do this episode for quite some time. A long time. I've been dying to do this episode. And I finally convinced Princess Faye, yesterday was her payday, to go pick me up some lemons, begged, and pleaded with her. Baby, go get me some lemons. I'm going to make some homemade lemonade. And you should have seen it. I started dragging out all the tools and everything, and she thought I lost my mind. You know, I'm like, honey, just trust me. I know what I'm doing. I got this. You know, like that, you know. She still thinks I've lost my mind, but she's like, it better be good, you know. I'm like, honey, I got this. Anyhow. Now, here very soon, as the bubbles come to a slow, here, actually, hang on a second. Let's move the pitcher aside. And please be careful, but, okay, take a look. Notice how it slowly drips. Okay, notice how it's slowly dripping. We could go a little bit longer. But we don't need to. We don't need to in this particular case. We are going to let it coast down a little bit more. It'll thicken up a little bit more as the moisture comes out and be more syrupy. And then, of course, steaming out. So we'll just give it a few more moments and that sort of thing. Then we're going to add this directly to our lemon juice, converting it to lemonade. Okay? Again, we used filtered water, not bottled water, not mineral water, not straight tap water. Again, bottled water, bottles come directly from China. There's been some horrible studies that have not made it into mainstream media yet, that alternate media has picked up on. The Chinese have been impregnating the bottles with some pretty nasty stuff. So you might want to reconsider buying bottled water. Get yourself a, okay? All right, I believe we have given this long enough. We've melted this down as far as it'll go. So now it's time to bring the two together. Don't worry, this is plenty cool. There we go. Again, very little bit of residue left in there. which is exactly what we were looking for, okay? Should just, you know what I mean? No crystals. All right, now we're gonna give this a nice stir, and we will give this a taste, okay? Oh man, this is gonna be good. All right, again, actually for this stir, you know what we're gonna use? We're gonna use our potato masher. Now, if you're that worried about any pulp, any seeds in there, you could strain them out, okay? But again, I'm going to tell you again, the most part of the flavor for this is also going to be in the hulls, so leave that in there, okay? Leave that in there. Don't you dare move those. Now, already, this is lemonade. It is lemonade, okay? It is lemonade, okay? But Princess Faye's not here right now. So let's go ahead and strain this off, and I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. It is lemonade right now, but this will be even better. It sits in the refrigerator for a little while, okay? Be even better, okay? So do me a favor. Take your time. There we go. Get rid of some of those seeds for her. Now again, I know some of you might be saying, Prince Magnum, is any one woman worth all this trouble? Yeah. I think so. I think any woman that, husbands, any woman that puts up with us for a time, whether it's a few months, a few weeks, whatever, you know, we guys sometimes tend to forget. We're sometimes hard to live with, that sort of thing. And that being said, if they're willing to stick it out with us, that sort of thing, well, then they're, you know, doing stuff like this. It's a good thing. Okay? Oh, I guess we should taste test our creation here, shouldn't we? Let's do it. Let's do it. And that'll give us a chance to make any minor adjustments that we feel we might need to make. What the heck am I doing? Let's get a testing glass. Let's set this on. Gosh dang. Now that's some good lemonade, okay? Be careful, you're still gonna get a few seeds in there. Again, if you're that worried about it, just strain them out. Me, I could care less, because wow. I mean, you got the strong lemon flavor.